What's up YouTube? My name's Quickie, welcome back to the channel. I'm playing. I've had a very busy day today. I was up at 6 o'clock this morning because Sam's away on the rollers still, so I'm just not sleeping. So I've had a nice clear up and everything. Doesn't sound like I'm walking on cornflakes anymore, and I've sorted the boys out because they was covered. Then 9:30 I was off at a solicitor's. I'm not in trouble again. Basically I've just renewed the lease on this place, so we're going to be here for another 3 years at least, and I'm hoping that either business picks up, which I don't think it's going to, or I end up with a shed ton more subscribers. Currently, what are we on at the minute? 8,700, something like that. I think we've just passed that mark, which is mega for, you know, a little channel that started out just as a scrapbook. Yeah, we've got quite a nice little following now, and although it did start out as a scrapbook, I'm now quite keen to grow the channel actually. I do like it. I'd like all the engagement and everything else, so that's what we're doing. Hopefully one of the other picks up and I can keep the rent going on this place, which would be mega. That is cock on now. I had loads of comments on this. It does look a lot more like a yoke now, and I am pleased with it. I am. There's loads of work gone into this so far. Loads. I think this is going to be part... Well, I think I've just done part 6 where I scooped out that bit. You know, lots of work, basically. But now what I need to do is to get the instrumentation in there. So this is the GPS Speedo that I'm using. It's just a basic, plain, simple looking thing. And it's got this bracket on the back of it. That's what this is. I'm replacing it. So essentially that's going to come off. I need to put a couple of holes in here. I've filed that down to size, so I've got just like the smallest little crevice to weld into around the edge, which will all be cool. Stick a couple of holes in there, and I'm going to lop it off down here somewhere. And this whole thing is getting upended and shoved in it and bolted onto this back plate. And then the idea is I'm cutting a ball in two. I am blatantly nicking this off Craig Jones. He uses these when he does those dummy oil tanks. I never knew you could get them. So I'm just keen to give it a go. There is quite a lot of weight to it. I don't know how much it weighs, but there is a fair amount of weight to it, so I don't know how thick it is. But he's getting chopped in two, and then half of it is getting plonked on there with a slot, so I can still get to these two nuts in there and route my cabling out. But I'm hoping that once the whole thing is upended and shoved in there with the ball on the bottom, the slot facing back, you ain't going to see it. I reckon that is going to work. I'm going to keep it as low as I possibly can do, so it's only just going to stick out the top like that with the clock facer up there. And then with that set sort of like that, on the back here I'm just going to have a little thing that comes up with a couple of screw holes just to mount it, and the cabling will come out here, and then just a simple P-clip, and it can squirrel up underneath the frame out of the way. You shouldn't really see much of anything going on, which is nice because there's no fixings on show and it just looks like one piece, which is mega, because that's what I want. I'm toying with the idea as well of, this is set at sort of 20 degrees, so imagine that bit ain't going to be there. And I've got these little these little LED lamps. I need one for oil pressure and for neutral, and I'm thinking of milling like a little recess in at the same angle as this, so I can stick a light in there and it will just be quite minimal and kind of tucked in out the way and just, you know, simple looking. So that's what I'm doing today. It might work. I mean, it should work. I reckon we're going to be all right. Right, let's I need some calipers and we'll find out where to stick these holes. Right. I don't know if I've said this before, but a real simple way of getting your holes in the right place. If you measure, where are you? It's just a little trick basically. So if you measure how big one of your holes is, so that would basically be an M4, and then measure outside to outside, so 73.5, 73.6, and basically just take 4 off of it, and that will give you the hole centres. Easy, isn't it? Easy. And they're going to be 1/2 mil big anyway, because I want a little bit of clearance. That'll do. Right, let's mark this up and put some holes in it. See, I knew it'd move at the end. There we go. Oh, my ball is in too. These are really good actually. They're, I use them quite a lot for holding tubes and all that sort of stuff. Cheap as chips off eBay, they really are, but you can hold sort of tubes vertically or horizontally, or because it all kind of comes to a point as well, they're quite good for just clamping on round stuff like that. It only costs like £5 or something. If you've got a mill, which I didn't at the time, you can just make them, but they're mega. Right, now I need to dress all that up and get it to 80mm. It is quite thick, isn't it? Bloody hell. That could cause problems. Right, I've had this knocking about for a little while now, and I haven't had a chance to use it yet. He's still in the box and everything. But I treated myself a little while back to a linisher. Just because, you know, some of the other stuff and that I'm making in here, it would be a handy thing to have. So I found this one online. You can tell it's not an expensive one because my dial gauge is plastic. What's that? Oh, that'll be the plate it goes to. But it should do the do with a little bit of luck. It says heavy duty. I don't believe that. Although, I don't know, it looks fairly substantial. Well, at least I got belts with it, eh? Right, small problem, ain't gonna work. To explain, so my little ring here, it sits really nicely just on the very edge of the inside of this tube, so I'll be able to weld it around the outside, and the idea is that this was going to go on top. This is really quite thick. I don't know how much it weighs, but there is some weight to it, but it's really thick. How thick is that? That's an angle. It's probably like, I don't know, 3 mil, 3.5 mil, something like that. But the trouble is, when he goes over top, I've got a void there and a void there. Now those voids are clearances for where the cables plug in. So there's a little retaining clip that goes on there, that needs clearance to get through, and this has got a nut that winds down onto it for the receiver, and I just haven't got the clearance for it. So we're having a rethink. It's going to end up being a tiny bit longer than I was hoping, and the slot that I put into it is going to be down the side. That makes it a bit easier to, you know, to put the slot in there instead of through this, but that bit ain't going to be any good. So I'm going to repurpose this. I'm going to have the, so because basically it's just a gap filler anyway, so the middle bit is going to disappear. I'll make another mounting plate which I'll set down, I don't know, 15 mil, something like that, we'll see. But that is just going to get welded onto that, and that is going to get welded onto that without the middle bit there. So that's basically just the dressing it up sort of stuff at the end. I'll put a few tacks on just to keep it in place, but I want this edge to actually be quite sharp and crisp. So we'll probably just get it central from the outside, tack it in a couple of 3 places, flip it over, because you can see it overhangs here, so I can weld into that, chop out this middle bit, and you won't see the weld from the outside, which would be quite nice. This is all going to get powder coated anyway. I was going to paint it, but Jack's next door and he's there all the time now, so I can get this powder coated and that'll be alright. So I just need to chomp out these bits here, something like that, ish. Just sort of carry that curve around, lose the middle bit, and that'll just be a space that I plug the end up. Right, I need another bit of steel just to make that bit then. What have I got? Right, so I made a little bar. So the idea is I've got a couple of spacing washers on here as well. The tube's going to go on. And this little spacer bar just sits in there dead snug. Really nice and snug. Yeah. And then all I'm going to do is wind, I need to get some leather in here or something just to protect the Speedo, because I want to get a couple of tacks on it whilst it's all in situ. So not really looking forward to that bit because it is plastic, but I want to make sure it's all straight and neat. So wind a couple of nuts on. As long as I can get like a tack on either side, that's all I need. I'll just do like opposite corners or something. Right, nice little bit of penetration on each of the tacks. So that's all good. And it literally is just tacks, that's all that's needed. Like I say, I've got the penetration there. It ain't going anywhere, it's quite sturdy stuff. I just got one in the opposite corners, then whipped this out, because I really didn't want to leave that anywhere hot. But he should all go in. Which way around did he go? Was it that way? So he just slots in, and locates in the holes, which is all good. I did have a couple of washers sort of on the Speedo side, so he's going to have, because it's just plastic on there at the minute, so there's going to be a one washer goes on either side, just go so it's got something firm to sit up against. He'll go in there, and then where did I put the others? Here we go. We've got star washers, yeah, like spring washers, just to make sure it's all clamped down. So that's that bit sorted. Right, now we can turn our attention to this. Do I just have a go from the other side? I could do, couldn't I? That'll probably work out alright, actually. Right then, all I've done is cleaned the outside up just to get rid of the penetration marks where I tacked it all in and whatnot. So now I need some slots. We'll need to decide where the slots are going to go, just so I can get in here, which is bottom, that's bottom, get it right. So I need to mark it down here somehow. I've been hunting around. I found this. I've got a little angle finder jobby, and he just happens to be the perfect size to fit around the circumference. And I've got a straight edge there which I can kind of look down and line up with that centre rail. So he's there. I'll just mark 90 so I can, come on, I can easily come back to it then. Blob on there, blob on there. Right, so now it's just a case of deciding how big I want these slots to be. The nuts are actually quite small. How big's the spanner? So I'll need to be able to get a spanner in and on it. And move it a bit. Because I've got these ratchet spanners and so it's going to be awkward getting in there, I know, but once it's on, it's on. So I'm thinking, get you lined up, come on. 90 on my marks. $45, $40, something like that. I can always tweak it later if I need be, but I need a starting point. So we'll go there for now and move him round to there. And put a mark on there. what are you going to see from the side? It's just going to be a slot down like that. It's just like the bottom third, you're hardly going to notice it. Right, bit of angle. Not angle, but it's U-channel, that'll do. And how far down? Well, you're going to want to get a nut on top of it as well. Say 5mm. 5mm, that'll do. This is just marking out just so I can see where this slot needs to go. About like that. You're going to want to get in and get over the thing. Uh, 5mm down to 15. So it probably wants to be about 15mm deep as well. I guess. Right then. Well, I've just been playing about marking it up on the yokes where I want to go. It's got a bit of a Knights of the Round Table thing going on. I do like it though. It is cool. I've got I'll see if I can get some pictures and show you, but I've got tiny little bit of penetration coming through where obviously I welded this top section to the tube. As long as you've got penetration, you know it's gone all the way through. Piling extra through doesn't add to the strength of the weld at all, and that goes all the way around, so that's all nice and good. And up here I've purposely given it quite a sharp, quite a sharp lip to it basically. I want it to be a definite edge, and it's all nice, it's not wonky or all that lot. I took my time with it, so that's all looking good, and I've just given it a bit of a clean up and everything else. The slot is going to do, but it is going to be a nightmare to get these nuts in. I've got a set of nut tweezers. Where are we? Come on, you went in. It is going to be a nightmare to get in there, but once I've got a couple of threads going, I can get in and spin them on. My spanner goes in quite happily and clears, so that ain't going to be an issue. I'll just do them up, that'll be fine. It's just going to be getting the actual nuts on there to start off with. That's going to be awkward. However, this is, well, I've just been marking it up where it's going to go. So with him on like that, it's only rough, but you get the gist. So that slot pretty much is sort of past the start of the yokes. From the sides, you really don't see it at all. It's tucked up out the way and everything. It's going to be excellent, I reckon, anyway. And it's somewhere, I can route the cables out there. I've got 2 lots of cables to come out. We're going to have a little plate across the bottom here with a hole there and a hole there, which will be drilled and tapped so I can mount it up there. So from the sides and the top and the front and everything else, you ain't even going to see any fixings because they'll all be hidden underneath there. It's turning out really quite well. Really quite well. I think that's going to look the part. It's going to sit quite low like that, and either side, sort of here and one on my side, I can't point to it because I'll drop everything. That's where I'm thinking of inserting those little lights, so it's at the same angle as the Speedo, just it's simple and out of the way. And then in the middle, you can go there, obviously we just got the nut that sits on like that. That's a scabby one. I'm going to sort it out. But I'm really pleased with it. I think it's looking good. Real simple, in your face, no fixings, no wiring, no any of that, just yokes and a Speedo. That's all you want to see, really, isn't it? I think that's good. I do think that's good. Not better than some GPS Speedo mounts I've seen recently. Right, you is up there all precarious like, so don't be going falling off or anything. Right, we don't need all of that. Pen. Right, so we'll mark him there. Grubby fingerprint works. Ish. Right, scissors. Right, so he wants trimming up a little bit. So actually, if we go bottom of the radius, so that bit there to that bit there. Right, so he fits in there quite happily. Right to the edge of the cutout. So that'll do. So flip it over. I moved. Ish. Don't like points, so they will be going. But it'll fit up like that. Now, I don't actually want to come out too far because obviously we've got steering stem there. So I'm thinking, what else have we got underneath there? Right, so roughly there is the centre of the steering stem, roughly. I want to leave between 25 and 30. Just because I've got the locking nut that sits underneath there as well. Yeah, that'll do it. So if we was to go roughly like that. And put a mark there. So we'll call that 35. 35. Obviously I'm going to round the corners off, so this will get rounded over. Bring it in a little bit. Same thing on here. Same thing down here. And there. But that is basically going to be it, I think. Let's just chomp it out and have a look. That'll basically do it. Don't know what size screws I'm going to fix it with, but there's going to be a screw about there, another one about there. I will get them even, and this obviously slopes down at 20 degrees, so yeah, it's got a slope to it in this direction, so I'm going to want them as far up as I can get them, and they ain't going to go, you know, massively deep, but it's got a hold. I suppose the only other option would be to do a one that does that, follows that radius. Actually, where's me bung? See, I knew I did me bung for a reason. Shove him on there. Come on. He can go on there. How wide were you again? Right, so we want to come out a little bit from there. It's only rough, but I can mark it out. I've got compasses, so I could do one like that, and that will just let me move the screw up to about there and there, so I'm nowhere near that cut off, and that way I can get it a little bit deeper. How far away is that? Yeah, between 25 and 30, so I'll probably do it like that. Right, bin that idea. Let's do another one. Right, so we got the mounting bracket done. That was the template I used in the end. All I did was stick it down with some of these rare earth magnets, which are brilliant until you start grinding, and then they just go hairy. But just stuck it down and roughly chomped it out, and then I went round it with a Sharpie over the template and just kept on filing it down until my black line disappeared. That's how I tend to do it. Ooh, burr. We don't like burrs. There we go. That's better. Right, so E should fit in there, lovely. Which he does. Where's my thing? That's cool too. So because this is set in at a 20-degree angle, or I've just filed it flat, so when he's at an angle I naturally get an opening at the back here. It's going to be welded from the underside. I'm just going to tack it on, and then I'm just going to run a bead along it. That'll be it. You're never going to see it anyway. I will dress it down, obs, but it just means that will fit in there quite nicely. Right, so let's have you out, put you somewhere safe. You is going to go on there like that, and then you need to get tacked on right there like that. I think what I'm probably going to do is to clamp my bracket to the yoke. Now I'll get 3 tacks on it just so it ain't going anywhere. Then I'm just going to let it all cool down. Ideally I want to clamp it that way as well, just so nothing shifts. Right, small change of plan. I tried clamping it all together just so I could get some tacks on, because it's such a stupid shape. It's wobbling about all over the place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill and tap a couple of holes in there, wind my fixing screws, these little M5s, so they're going to go in there. Yeah, plenty deep enough. And then I'm going to bolt the mounting plate to the yoke, offer up the Speedo housing, and then just get some tacks on. If I can clamp that down, I'm going to, because I want it snug. So that's what I'm doing. I did get myself a set of tapping drills, which is brilliant, and I want a 4.2, which is tapping drill size for an M5 thread. I don't know if that's number 17, 18, 19, 20. And there's no flaming thing in there to tell me what's what. 4.21, you'll do. Right. Let's get this bit done. Right, he goes in like that. He's looking good. Look, that's what I'll be can you see this? That's what I'll be staring at. Nice and simple. If you look at it from, I'll get some pictures and shove them up, but if you look at it from the side on, you can't see the slot, and when you get around to the front you can't see the slot either. I have just left the beader weld underneath it. I haven't dressed anything up yet. It's fixed on with 2. I would have scorched the alley when I did the welding, but I wanted to leave a little bit of a gap between that plate and the Speedo itself, the Speedo housing itself. Just that way there's a gap to fill, so you can really sort of pour the weld in there. And the alley acts as a backer, so it doesn't all just blow out the other side and create a right mess. That would be Steve-O. I just sent him a picture of it. There is no real gap around here. It's a lovely snug fit. It is still just a tiny bit warm, so I am going to leave it for just a little bit longer without that in it. But yeah, I'm pleased with that. I must admit I did stick it on the bike just to have a look see. Thing is, I can't push the yokes all the way down because I haven't slit them, and it is like a really snug fit, but I'll stick a picture up just so you get the gist of it. The idea is just a simple Speedo, smack in the middle, big old headlamp in front of it, and just no wiring. That's what I'm after. So yeah, job well done so far, I reckon. I am liking the way it's coming out though. It is definitely cool. Anyway, that's where I'm leaving it today. What's the time now? 6:30. Near as damn it. I'm hungry. I've not eaten all day. I am full of coffee. Oh, a bit like that. So I'm going to chip off and get myself something to eat. I'm back in here again tomorrow. So I'm thinking I might sink those holes in the front of this, because I've already got the tilting table set up on the bed. So I might have a go at sinking those holes in there and see where they're going to come out. Because that's the other worry I've got at the minute. I don't know where they're going to come out. I might be moving them and putting them someplace else. I don't know. I'm making it up as I go. Oh, I could have them down the side. Ooh, see, now that could be quite cool. I'll figure it out. I'll chew it over tonight and I'll see what I come up with. Anyway, I'm going to be back in again tomorrow anyways. I do have a slitting saw arbor that I need to make just so I can slit this and drill the ends and everything else. In fact, I might even do that tomorrow, because then we could put it on the bike and see what it actually looks like and move the forks down so they're at the proper height. Yeah, I might be doing that. I need to do a little recess in the top for the washer to sit in under the nut. I don't want the washer sitting on top. I want to recess it a little bit. And I might be making one out of alley. I don't know. Still chewing over that one. But that needs to sit down a little bit in my humble opinion. So there's going to be a recess big enough that I can drop the washer in. And I do want to sink this down maybe just a little bit. I don't know. I'm still chewing over ideas. But that's where I'm going to leave it today. Thank you ever so much for watching. Do hope you're well and staying safe. We will see you again on the next one. Cheers.